Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. So, for today, we're going to be jumping into some sound design inside of Reaktor, the sound design tool of choice. And on tonight's stream, we'll be diving into Reactor blocks in particular to build out a fat reactive bass groove from scratch. So, I'll show you how to set up a sequencer driven bass line. We'll shape some filters and envelopes, and we'll add some LFO modulation for extra movement. We'll then drop that into Ableton and build out a quick groove. So if you're tuning in, drop a fire emoji in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're watching the replay of this, feel free to comment below. So let's go on and get started. So I'm going to open up my edition of Reaktor, and when you open that up, we're going to have different sections. One is the play section, one is the patch section, one is the build section. Today we're going to be jumping into the build section because this will allow us to build out our full modular synth from scratch. So I'm going to jump in there, and then I'm going to go to the play section, the player section, and the bento box collection. These are basically a collection of basic blocks which we'll be using to drag in that are pre-built to connect our modules up. So we're going to need some utility modules and some bento box modules. I'm going to start off with a note in module. That's the first one we're going to need, and that takes MIDI signal from our keyboard. And then I'm going to drag in a few more modules that we may need to build this out. I'm going to bring in a clock, I'm going to bring in some more things like an 8-step sequencer, and we're also going to need, this is going to sequence our MIDI notes and create a repeating bass groove. Basically, it's going to repeat our notes. So we're actually going to need one more thing, which is the most important thing, a sound generation device, and that's going to be our oscillator. That's going to generate our sound for a rich, buzzy bass tone, and we'll add the oscillator to the sequencer's output and pitch input of I'll connect the sequencer's output to the pitch input. So the basic sound, it's going to sound pretty basic right now with just these connected. Just going to make sure our volume is down, and we'll connect those up. So we're getting some sort of pitch coming through. Just going to connect the gate as well to our clock. So we're getting some signal going through and creating that those notes that are going to be played. So this is transposing the signal down. So that's why you're getting a pitch down. Okay, so we got our basic sound, not too fancy, nothing too fancy, but we're going to shape it. We need a state variable filter to shape that sound and bring out the character. So we're going to add a state variable filter next in the chain. and then reconnect our outs just to make sure that's working. Yeah, that's working. So we're getting a low pass right now, which means low signal shall pass. So right now we're seeing a low pass right here. So that's okay. And we're going to shape that low pass filter to remove some of the high end by cutting out some of the high end frequencies. As you turn it up a little bit louder, you can hear that I'm cutting out some of those higher frequencies and make it more thumpy. So that'll give it more punch. And then we're going to add a VCA, which is an amplifier, so we can control the final output. So right now, you're not hearing anything because our amp is not turned up. Okay, so now we're going to add a envelope to this amplifier so that we have control over the attack, decay, sustain, and release over time. And the only way we can control that is if we're playing notes. So we're going to add some, that should actually be in the modulation source, not the import. So we're going to add some modulation depth to our amp. And we're going to change the attack a little bit. Before we do that, we got a nice controlled bass line, so you can hear it some more controlled now. And we can spice it up now with some movement and some modulation. So we're going to add some modulation with an LFO. Bring in an LFO and add and modulate. So we're going to modulate, the parameters we're going to modulate. Let's do the filter cutoff. So modulate the filter cutoff by modulating this right here. And then so right now we're modulating that filter cutoff right here. And then we're going to basically be done with our basic patch. You can even match it to, you can even map the LFO to pitch to get more growly effects. Right now we're just going to map it to the filter. So we're going to go ahead and save our sound. We'll call this we'll call it bass groove, just so that I can know where it's coming from. Gonna save it. Oh, they already have something named that, so call it Reactive build bass, and then that just stands for my session, and then we're gonna save it. So we've saved the patch essentially right now, and now just gonna mute the output, save it again. We can close this down or mute it. Gonna open up live. We're gonna start a new session, or we might be able to use this pre-made beat. Let's see. So we have something here. I'm just gonna take the output and turn it down a lot. Just gonna bring that up. Before I bring that down, So now we have this going. I'm gonna go ahead and add the sound to this. So let's do it. Let's see if we can mute this. There we go. So we just have a simple beat. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the Reaktor modular synth we just built by going into my plugins, adding in Reaktor. We can also add some effects, but we're just going to focus on adding the build-in we just created. Going to go to recent files. Open. Okay, we're going to open it up. There it is. Going to bring it in. Edit. And we're going to use it. So let's test it out. So let's connect up our gate connection so it automatically plays by itself. I'm just gonna add this so I'm gonna make it follow the clock. Oh, there we go. So that was a connection that was off. So now you can hear it's following the beat very nicely. And we're hearing some notes in rhythmic pattern. Can you change it up? Change the steps. Just getting a groove. Okay, so we can go ahead and record that into Reaktor and have something that we can play back. I'm going to insert an audio track, turned on to resampling. We're going to record in from Reactor 6, which is on track 41. And we'll try that again. Oh, I was recording onto the wrong track, so we'll do that again. We'll hit that one and try it again. And we'll change up the pattern. You can actually automate this as well if you really wanted to, by having some depth on the steps. But this time we'll do it manually. And then we go back to the chorus or verse. Then we can stop it and we can listen back to our playback. So we can mute that source and hear our playback. And we'll just duplicate it. And we got some source audio. We're going to rename our clip. We'll call it auto bass. Maybe give it a different color. Change the whole track. And that'll be our auto bass. We can collapse down these tracks so they're not in our way. We can even add a lead line to make it, to finish it off. So we'll bring in and we'll add in a lead line just to finish that off. So we'll add something. Let's go to our collections. And we'll bring in maybe an organ, maybe something fun. Let's see. So we'll keep that first half and we'll loop it. And we'll actually duplicate that. And then I think we'll bring in June 6th. Maybe layered up with something else, like Prophet. this is sound design, guys. This is how you do it. You layer and you create clear textures. Key. So we're in E minor. So we're going to keep going in E minor. We might draw some notes in. We might play them in. As long as we get them in, I think that's all that matters. So we're going to actually duplicate this track. Just do it again for the top layer, because we're playing both of these synths at once. And okay, so I'm gonna open one up. I'm gonna take it off loop mode. Zoom right in. Change the scale. We know that we're in E minor. We just thought about that, talked about being in E minor. So we're gonna add in some notes. Just gonna bring in a chord, possibly. So keep it simple. We'll duplicate that note. We'll shorten those notes a little bit, so it's a little bit more of a better feel. And we'll just repeat this for another bar. So that's what. Oh. So look, it'll look something like that. Okay, so we need to fix this a little bit. Bring it forward. Duplicate. Smoothing around the blocks, making it nice and efficient and quick. And then we can copy that, bring it down. Make it more exciting. Clip this clip away. Maybe add in a 808 bass line. We'll use a pure bass line. And we know we're in E minor. So since we know we're in E minor, we're gonna keep going. So we can repeat that and try it again. Some ideas. describe some of what we did, kind of go over ideas, figure out what we like, figure out what we don't like. So we don't like those notes. We like the intro notes. Give a little quantization. Oh, we'll take that off. I didn't like that. Gonna change some notes here. Not liking that. Then go ahead and duplicate this area. So that was kind of cool. Happy accidents sometimes happen. So bars of this. And there you have it. So feel free to experiment. Maybe add an auto filter. One more thing. sweep to our sounds. So, going to show the automation. Just going to rise up. Curve our line a little bit. Grab the auto filter. Bring it up to our next. They're going to be in sync. Just a little intro. Playing it through from the beginning. That's pretty much it for our session today. Hopefully you got something valuable out of the session. Let me know in the comments. Keep experimenting. And know that you can actually create things in Reaktor that actually sound like music. Using Modular Synthesis as your engine, as your starting place, you can design sounds and then use them in your own creations, whether that's your cinematic themed productions, film scores, or just beat production for anything else you would like to use it for, whether that's sync music or even just your personal projects. So I'll see you in the next episode, and like and subscribe for more content like this, and keep creating. Peace out.